One thing that's also very cool, which was not possible several years ago, is we're using softwares that are called physics-based software. So if you do a simulation, it's nothing that the computer just makes up. There's now so many parameters inside the software that simulate something that is absolutely for real. You don't do 5, 6 simulations and then say like, yeah, but it actually doesn't really look like real water. We're now at a point where you simulate it and it actually really behaves like water, or the building really behaves like a crumbling building.
This is now actually the final pre-visualization that was done by Pixelmondo. This has already been edited by our editors. This is really, for us, our blueprint for the shoot. Say, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is our basis now. From here on, every single shot that's in here will be produced by us. And we're really moving from this and replacing every object that's really still like very video gamey looking and so on with higher resolution objects as soon as we have them. Literally week by week, these scenes and all the shots are getting better and better and better until we are at the final result.
Could we possibly put an 8-foot blue screen on the right side here up to the corner?
We had the plan from the get-go to shoot as much as we could for real. So we had a street that was specifically built for the movie on a back lot and blue screen all around it. We actually shot about a dozen or so shots that are also in the movie that have the real limousine in it.
We built several limos that had roll cages inside of them so that when we are dropping cars or ratcheting cars or throwing cars with air cannons, in case we had hit the limo, that the limo itself would be protected and all the people inside of it. We ratcheted a lot of cars. We can send them tumbling, like you'll see in the film, you see them tumbling in front of the limo as it races by them. So we're sending them 80 feet in total distance travel, and we'll have a couple flips done through that. Another method, we use nitrogen cannons, and we have a piston that we basically put high pressure gas behind it, and much like a potato gun, and it just shoots them out. And we could throw those cars, I mean, up to 300 feet away.
As soon as the live action footage has been shot, as you see here, all mainly people running in front of a blue screen, then it gets assembled. Based on the original previous assembly, now the editors go ahead and actually put the live action footage in and intercut it with our pre-visualization footage.
Jeez! We gotta get to the other side of the freeway!
The amazing thing about a shot like this is the detail that gets into this, because what you're looking at here is 100% digital shot. We didn't even shoot the limousine driving on a road and then build everything else around it. There is no element of a palm tree that was shot, let's say, in front of a blue screen. Every single piece you see, for example, the collapsing freeway on the left side, actually has rebar in it, which makes the freeway behave exactly like a real freeway would behave in an earthquake.
We're not there yet! Go! We're gonna take off! Punch it! I have to get to 85 knots! Here we go.
And the plane sequence, in terms of that it's in a plane, makes it a slight bit easier because you don't have any direct interaction with the ground. And it's almost a minor thing, but still in terms of visual effects, in terms of computer animation, it makes a little bit of a difference, because if you have a limousine, you know, it has very clear interaction with everything that happens on the ground. Of course, those kind of problems you don't have with a plane. But on the other hand, also, I mean, this plane is also flying through a lot of stuff. As it's flying through the two high-rises that are crumbling together, it's being hit by little debris and glass and so on, and there's interaction there too. And Roland would come up with new ideas. And one of the things that he noticed fairly early on is that it needs this really big bang at the end. And just originally was planned to just fly with the plane out of downtown. You know, we'd see more crumbling and that was it. But he's not happy with that. That's not enough. Just seeing entire Los Angeles downtown crumbling, that's for wussies. We have to do more. We have to do better than that.
I said, can we not make some shelves? And they all sink into the ocean. And I always said, well, how would that look? And then they just mock it up, and then you say, yeah, that is it. It's a process. A lot of times you just say to people, just to make a drawing of it, and then we see if this works. And then out of the drawing comes another idea, and slowly you evolve a whole sequence. The volcano sequence was from the very beginning, we said, okay, we'll shoot some stuff on location. We have a second unit there, which shoots a lot of the camper, and then the rest will be done on stage.
You can imagine in the purely Roland Emmerich style what kind of stuff is going to be going on, and it's going to be huge. But when you're acting it, it's really hard to visualize all this stuff going down, so I tried to be as over the top as possible, which might place me just right in the pocket.
There's a huge amount that was done practical in this sequence. It's helicopter footage while the RV is driving on the roads. In the beginning, we had a discussion with Mike Rosina how much he would be able to show of lava bombs impacting around the RV next to the road.
We actually made some of these fiery rocks. We used one of those guns that fire the cars, but actually made a rock that was 10 feet in diameter and then lit it on fire and then shot it out.
But we figured out pretty fast that that's a very impractical solution because you don't want to create any forest fires. So we decided early on to do that actually in CG. We're working with Double Negative, the company that actually does the final shot, all the digital elements of it, very closely on this. What they do next is they deliver what we call the post-viz, and they implement a rough version of all those lava bombs that come down. All these gray columns that you see are the lava bombs hitting, and eventually each one of them is going to have a great impact. So here's the same shot again now with the final lava bombs first hitting the water and then a big piece of soil crashing and leaving this big dust trail on impact here. The closer you get, the harder it is to make it believable, because right now with all these big impacts here, you start to seeing all the detail. You basically get down to grains of sand in the end. So it's big pieces, but it's also very small pieces. So you see actually the camera is going through one of these impacts here. There's a specific moment when the RV gets hit by one of these lava bombs, and that's where the RV was prepared by the special effect crew.
We had it all rigged with pyro, and the whole backhand is one of these comets, or these fiery rocks we call them, would hit the backhand and explode and take the RV out.
And then we only in post over the course of maybe like 2 frames or so added this lava bomb that actually hits the RV. Finally get to the airport, we see the landing strip, and out of nowhere this gigantic crack shows up and creates this huge gap that they have to pass. Our special effect and stunt team set up this ramp for the real RV to jump over.
Basically, we redid all the suspension on it that could basically take quite a bit of a 20-foot gap jump and then land on the other side another 60, 70 feet away. We had some special seats made so that the drivers could actually not compress their spine when they actually landed on the other side.
It was very important that Double Negative built their landscape in a way that would be a natural ramp for the RV to jump over. So when this crack happens and everything is buckling up, there is actually a natural ramp that is coming up. So it actually makes sense that they would make it over. It's not just flat ground and they would just hit the other side and fall in.
All right, buckle in, here we go!
John Cusack finally makes it into the airplane that's already taxiing on the runway, and they lift off, but the whole pyroclastic cloud finally catches up to them. As you see, there's pretty much nothing. This was a plate that was shot from a helicopter in Canada at this location that we had there. And now you have to create the shot out of that. In the final shot, everything comes together, and you see especially all the detail work on the ground level here, and some of these trees being, bending over from the pressure wave before they actually get totally thrown over by the actual cloud. I think they did a great job on having this additional element of this pressure wave actually preceding the cloud itself and swirling up all these pieces.